What's up, everybody? It's Indigo, and I am back with another very small junk silver hunt. And I was going through some old rolls I had, and I did not remember this one actually, but I had a little bit of junk silver in this roll, so I'm going to go through these and hunt for any varieties or anything like that. I'm going to go ahead and sort everything by date. I think I'm going to do the quarters last because I know what to look for there. I'm just going to go ahead and knock out the dimes. These are going to be a little bit more difficult for me. So I'll go ahead and check these and see what we got. Maybe we have a nice little variety hiding in here. So let me get the scope set up and I'll bring you right back in. Okay, sorry, I should have said this earlier. This is the breakdown. I had a 141 Denver. There is a DDO DDR combo to look for on that one. 43 Philadelphia and 344 Phillies. Nothing Cherrypicker's guide to look for on those. There's a 59 Denver, which has I think it's a couple RPMs or to look for on that one, and then a 64 Philly, and I think there was a couple DDRs to look for. So we go ahead and throw this up on the scope, and we will get to looking. Sorry about that. So on the 41 Philly, we're looking for a DDO DDR combo. And I'm not seeing anything in Liberty or in the motto. This is a very worn example, so that may not be the be-all, end-all on that. Not really seeing anything in the date. And then on the reverse, there's the mint mark, which looks normal. And I'm not seeing anything on that one. So, nothing on the 41 Denver. The 43, again, there's nothing really to look for too much on this one. These Cherrypicker guide variety-wise. And as suspected, it looks pretty normal. And even though there's nothing again to look for on these 44s, we will go ahead and look through those as well, just to check. Nothing on that one. Nothing showing on this one. This one's pretty worn. Got the rim fading into the letters, so I don't grade mercury dimes very often, so I'm going to guess it's probably an AG3 at best if it's got the rim bleeding in like that. Maybe on a really, really good day, a G4. This one's got partial rim, so I would call this one a G4. But not seeing anything on that one. On the 59 Denver, again, there's a few RPMs to look for. I'm just checking everything else over real quick. And not seeing anything RPM wise. And then on the 64, like I said, I think there's a couple DDRs. And let's see. I'm gonna say no on that. Yeah, I'm gonna say nothing on that one. So let me go ahead and sort through the quarters, and I'll bring you back in and show you that breakdown. All right, that is the quarter breakdown. I must have won these from Rob Finds Treasure or something, because I really don't remember them. There is a 1930 Philadelphia Stand and Liberty quarter, a 1932 Washington, obviously the Philadelphia, a 48 San Francisco, a 54 Philly, a 56 Philly, and this one's got a little surprise for us, and a 64 Denver. So let me go ahead and throw these under the scope, and I will bring you right back in. So for the SLQ, again, I don't really know a whole lot of what to look for on one of these. I don't think there's a ton of varieties on them, but it's a pretty decent looking coin. It's got the full rim, which is nice. Got some rivets left on the shield there. You know, it's a big wear point on these. And it is a Philadelphia because the mint mark would be down here. Think it'd be like right here on these. And then on that reverse, nice $quarter. It's a great looking eagle. I mean, it really is. And then E pluribus unum. Not seeing anything on that one. 1932 Washington. There is a DDO. It is a doubled ear. I do not believe you would be able to see it at this point on such a worn coin. But this kind of right there, if you can even see that, that is the motto. That's the "In God We Trust." And this is what was called the light motto for 1934. It was just too weak on the original dies, so they came back with the medium motto, which was a little bit stronger, and then also the heavy motto, which is considered the reverse of 36. So 1934 used the reverse of 32, 35, and 36. But 32 was only this obverse. And overall, pretty decent for a circulated example. Not worth a ton. Again, it's only in Philadelphia, but still nice to have a first year Washington there. Next up is a 48 San Francisco. And this one, I don't think there are any varieties on, but we're going to look it over anyway. And you'll have to forgive my puppy at the door. She's mad because I threw her outside. So she could leave me alone for just a minute. And I'm not seeing anything on this one. But, nope. Mint mark looks normal. Next up, again, 54 Philadelphia. And again, I don't think there's anything on a 54 Philly. I think it's just a regular date. There's not a lot going on. Nothing going on this example, I don't think. I think that's just wear. I don't think that's a second ear in there. Nothing in the United States of America. A So this Unum looks normal. $quarter looks normal. Yeah, so nothing unusual about that one. And then, as promised, the 1956 unfortunately has that big scratch on it, which would keep it from getting a grade. And I would say it's maybe a good 6 or so. But check it out. First year Type B reverse, proof reverse, 56 Washington quarter. And as you can see, we've got the leaf touching the A, the arrows terminating behind the leaf, and the clear space between the E and the S. 56 is far and away the hardest one to find from the Type B set, and I finally found one, and it is not good shape. But I still have one, so it will be going in my Dansko, and I'll add that at the very end of this video. We got one more to look for. So 64 Philadelphia, 64 Denver. There is a Type C reverse on this one. There's some DDOs, there's some DDRs, there's some RPMs, a little bit of everything on 64 Denver, just because they made so many of them. Such an opportunity to mess up, essentially. Not seeing anything there. That tone makes it hard on this one. Don't see any doubling there. I think there's some. I think one of the DDRs has some doubling in the C and the A. I believe this is just machine doubling right there. I will check that later. And let's see. Not seeing anything in $quarter. Do not believe this is a Type C, because you would see a very clearly defined second leaf right in here, and I do not see that. Same with this leaf right here. It would be very clearly defined, although I believe there's a space on the Type C, so it's not exactly a one-for-one with the Type B reverse, but not seeing anything going on that one. So let me get my Dansko, and I will go ahead and slot this 56 Type B reverse. All right, upon further review, we're actually going to have two, or an upgrade and an addition in this album. The 54, let me put that bottom piece back in. So this is the one that came out of it, and as you can see, there's basically no hair detail whatsoever on this one. And this is the one that will be going in. There's still a little bit of hair detail. It's not the prettiest toning, but it is a little bit nicer coin. So in it goes until I can find a mint state example on that one. And then I put on my last page in my Dansko, I have the Type Bs. I actually have, kind of show you what's in here. I have the 34s, so the light, medium, and then heavy motto, as I was talking about earlier. Difference in between the medium and the heavy motto: the peak of the W is below the sides on the medium, and it's above on the heavy. Let me kind of zoom in a little bit and kind of see the difference on those two. And then, of course, the light motto. And then 34 Denver also had a light and a medium, a light and a heavy motto. And this is the light motto, or excuse me, it's the medium motto, I think. but there's two versions on the 34 Denver. So I have those, but I also have a space for the 56, 7, 8, 9, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64 Type Bs and the 64 Denver Type C reverse. So again, this is a 56, and I will put that in there, right there. As you can see, the reverse again, and in it goes. So now I am in this album, I'm missing a 57, which is the easiest year to find on them, ironically, and a 64, and then the Type C. The Type C is also very hard. It's probably about on par with the 56, but yeah, I'm glad to have that one, even if it is kind of low grade, and it's one more in the album. So hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. If you'd like to see more junk silver hunts and variety searches and things like that, please consider subscribing, and thanks for watching.